Hey, Hector.
Yo, what's up? It's me.
It's the non-Caucasian version. How was Cancun?
Bro, amazing. But I have to say, Mexicans are the biggest con artists.
I saw your Facebook status.
You want me to elaborate?
I do.
So I get out the airport, and obviously my stoner self,
Naturally.
that's obviously got away with traveling a lot of times.
Had to bring vitamins with
Had
you.
to bring my edibles, my vitamins, my herbs.
Your Flintstone gummies.
Yes, they help with my stomach. They help settle my
Your
stomach.
glaucoma.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting. I've gotten away with it a lot of times.
Sure.
I didn't think Mexico. I didn't think that they will have dogs. So my suitcase gets flagged along with an other person's suitcase.
Naturally.
Obviously, they were black, so it was racist. No, I'm joking.
They had to pull the two black and Hispanic guy down.
Yeah, right.
Naturally.
Racist. No,
naturally.
I'm joking. It's Mexico. They're all Spanish. But they pull us to the side, and the girl's like, "Oh shit, I got a grinder, and I got like 2 grams." And I'm like, I'm stressing, motherfucker.
Right.
I got an ounce.
Right. Of gummies.
Of gummies.
Of Flintstone gummies.
Yes. Like straight gummies. And security comes over, head of security, and they're like, let me go to the office, take your passport, go to the office, let's talk. He said this is, go to jail for a couple of days. There could be a fine. This stuff can't go on here. I get it. My bad. I'm in Cancun. I'm trying to have a fun time. I'm just trying to get engaged to my girl. You know what I mean? Trying to have fun.
Well, that's a fucking spoiler alert.
We'll get to that later.
She doesn't know yet.
Well, she does, but she doesn't know yet. But I'm like, the girl looks at me and she's like, I think he wants a deal. And I'm like, you bet? This is Mexico.
Right.
You bet?
It runs on deals.
This ain't going over to no other, we're not, it's here now or it's never.
Right. We're figuring it out.
We're figuring it out in the next 20 minutes. I said, just give him a reasonable number. So she walks out. And after my whole discrepancy, I walk out. Say, hey, did he make a deal with you? Yeah, $100. Motherfucker tried to catch me for $500. Woo! I gave him $200, and he still tried to get me. So I told him, bet. Call the police.
Take me away.
And bet that man put that money in his pocket, and he let me take my vitamins and walk right out the door.
Gotta appreciate a good deal.
He lucky I gave him that much.
Hello, and welcome back, Hector, to another episode of Breaking Down the Tape.
Man, it is awesome to be back, and obviously they can't see the in-between conversations, but man, some stories.
We cannot legally let you hear those. Otherwise things will happen. But obviously last week Hector was in Cancun. We had Nick Hoove. Shout out to Nick Hoover. Shout out to him for hopping on here. HooveTube on YouTube for hopping on in place of Hector. But this week we have the real deal, Peely and all. In studio. And for the first time, and frankly a long time, me and you together in the same room recording.
I know, it's been a while. We've been always doing the online thing just because life and shit.
Yeah. Having FD2 and you doing your shit and my new job, it's been hard. But now we're back.
Like I said before, I am now engaged.
Ladies,
and all the gentlemen, because it's only 3 ladies maybe, and every gentleman. I am now off the market.
Off the market for good.
But if you pay the right dollar, and Christy, agrees, my butthole might be available.
But see, that's the problem. Is even if you get through the new fiance, Christy, you still have to get through the old husband, me. So
and the older husband, Marcus.
Yeah, exactly. Hector has a long line of spouses, both gay and straight.
I'm a whore.
Yeah, essentially. This week we will be bringing back Around the World of Sports because, as I told you last week, I am woefully inadequate. We will be talking about, obviously, our trivia question. Lately, as you know, we've speculated in the past where Julio Jones was going.
Did anyone? Because so don't mean to cut you off, Zach.
No, please.
I was actually listening in on the episode and with you and Hoove, and it was an awesome episode. I gotta finish up the last ending to it because obviously I was listening to it today,
right?
Getting ready,
when you just came back.
Yeah, when it just came back. Really, I got back like 2 days ago, and everything's been like oil change, unpacking, buying food, like
right.
Get ready for work.
Welcome back to being adult. Yeah. All at once.
It was. I don't know if anyone got the question right for the
trivia,
the previous question before I left, and then if anyone got the question for this last one.
So no to both.
Oh, did anyone even? Did you motherfuckers? Didn't I even comment? I leave and you motherfuckers don't even want to comment. I've been watching the Facebook page, like I got international data.
So no one got the quarterback question right for the Lions, which was over 4,000 yards.
Yeah, I said Matthew Stafford because I don't know anybody in the line.
But you weren't terribly off. And we'll get to that.
And I heard Hooves. Sure, he's too retarded.
So this week, Hector, as usual, let's fucking dive into it, big dog.
Hell yeah! Around the world of sports.
Now it's my turn to cut you off.
Oh yeah.
This week, we are not brought to you by Yingling, but we are unofficially brought to you by Stone IPA.
Stone IPA. Right now, I got a Fear Movie Lions Hazy Double IPA, and Zach.
I just got the original, man.
You got the original
IPA.
Don't fool our drinks right now because we're already
a lot in.
We're 8 deep, and we still got like a 12-pack of Bud Light to finish
and they're like 7%.
So, I think the lowest one is 6.7. Everything else is higher, and it goes up to 8.5.
I've got a 6.9. So, guys, we're doing great.
This is how you start off a comeback.
Welcome back. And now you may continue.
Yes! Around the world of sports! Yeah! Well,
it's nice to have you back.
I know. Oh man, I've been like sitting back in Cancun and just like watching things, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to ruin things for Christy, and I want to like, let her know I'm not on my phone and stuff.
Right.
I'm just just chomping at the bits, like, oh, I want to tear you motherfuckers apart.
What you guys don't realize is this is not a job. This is a lifestyle for Hector. I almost feel bad because we no longer talk as brothers anymore. We only talk in the context of breaking down the tape in sports.
And then we're like, oh, so but how?
By the way, how are you actually doing?
Are you breathing
right
properly?
Are you okay?
Are you eating right? Like,
right.
Are you getting hit at home?
Right. I saw a bruise. Is it from Christy?
Yeah, I know, right? I know that was the last one.
Anywho, right.
Around the world of sports. All right, we're gonna start with some MLB. Obviously, the Yankees are playing so goddamn shitty.
Yeah.
All the Boston fans are having a ball with it after the sweep, which was a cheap sweep, but I'll give it to them. A sweep's a sweep,
I guess.
But
I refuse, and I've said it. And anybody who has ever talked to me about baseball has known that I've stood on this. It doesn't matter before the All-Star break. So yes, the Sox swept us. And that does not feel great as a Yankees fan, but nobody cares. It's before the All-Star break.
Right now, we're like 31-29. We're playing fucking 500 ball. I get it. We're 4th in the AL East. But we're only like a half game back of Toronto.
Right.
I think we're and then it separates. We're 6 games or 5.5 games back of Boston. Boston's a game behind the Tampa Bay.
Right, but that in baseball, literally a 2-game swing can happen in like a day. You know what I mean? So like
most series are 3 games, but if you get a 4-game series and you sweep someone,
right?
Oh, that changes, and it's a division. Right. That changes dynamics all across the board.
That's what I'm saying is, and again, of course, I don't like being even beaten, not even swept. I don't like being beaten by the Sox.
Not a game,
but
it happens, and it's great because shout out to Sports Me again. And we love Sports Me, but those sports fans like Super Dave and James from Boda,
which, by
Jeff,
the way, I'm glad that you mentioned James Boda because according to him, he's just a figment of my imagination.
I loved that fucking take. I said, you fucking figment of my... I loved it. I loved it.
So the backstory on that is we've been trying... James has wanted to come on with us, and we've wanted James from Boda Sports. Go check him out. We've wanted him on, and he ghosted us, and it's been a back and forth joke between the three of us. And he finally hit me with one day when Hector went away that he's just a figment of my imagination. So now that's become the running joke.
Oh, good. Now I know exactly why you said it.
Oh, yeah.
And I can see why he's doing it because he's letting a Yankee fan know, like, yeah, I'll come on, but not really.
Right.
Not really.
When the Monday, when you left, right before you left, I wanted him on. And then out of nowhere, he was like, oh, well, I've got this fancy lake party at my lake house.
That he never went to because he was supposedly sweeping his house or something.
Right, yeah.
Oh, fuck you, James. I love you. You're still my favorite Boston fan because you actually have a sense of real knowledge of baseball, and you just don't bias yourself as a Boston fan.
He really doesn't.
So it's great. Check out James from Boda. He's awesome. But fuck you, James, because first of all,
should have never gotten swept.
Second game, we gave that one up.
Yeah.
The first game, I get it. Second game, we gave it up. And then that third game changed drastically when the pitcher throws a pitch over the right-hand batter's box that they stand in, and they call it a strike.
It almost hit you in Mexico. It was that so far outside of the strike zone.
Actually, I was here. I watched it here.
My bad.
So like I'm sitting on my couch and I ended up with a black eye in the next morning.
In the 845.
Yeah,
right.
I ended up with a black eye in the next morning because it shot over, single A Renegades Yankees
came
stadium
up over the
and
Hudson,
just crashed into my window, and while I was sleeping, just bow.
Yeah, that was. And I'm not gonna lie, I did not see it in real time. I saw you freak out about it on Sports Me, and I'm like, okay, maybe it missed by a little bit.
A little?
And then
that shit was the size of the Nile River.
And then I watched it today. I'm like, oh.
So watched it.
Oh my God.
I watched it and I was sitting here, I'm watching it, and I'm like, clear ball. Like obviously you can't go by like the trace on the TV.
Right.
You gotta give or take a little bit.
Right.
But like you can tell. And I was like, oh, that's
by a
ball.
mile.
And the way Odor acted, I was like, oh. And then when I watched the overview, it literally went across the white line of the batter box.
It's one of those things.
A clear like 70 feet at least.
It's one of those things. So multiple things here is you have to understand that it was second and third, 2 outs for the Yankees. Lindor would have simply loaded the bases.
He would have easily loaded the bases.
Right. He would have loaded the bases if that was a ball because it was 3-2. And Aaron Hicks was up, which is a 180.
No, Aaron Hicks is hurt. It was after, I think it was Brett Gardner after. Oh, I put my money on Brett Gardner. I'm sorry.
Fair enough. I would have gotten a base hit out of Gardner.
I would have got an easy single over second or third off the middle.
Fair enough. But that's not to say that they would have won the game if this was a ball, but it still should have never been sent to extra innings. No. And the Yankees should have had a chance. A. B. This is another confirmation that I am ill-equipped and always was mentally, obviously, physically, but mentally ill-equipped to play baseball because I am on site. Lindor walked away. Aaron Boone really didn't argue. He was just on to the next one.
No. Okay, no. Aaron Boone, I got why he didn't argue.
Right. I'm not
because he had too many coaches arguing.
I'm not shitting on Boone. Make that clear. I'm not shitting on him. But Boone was like, all right, let me figure out my next step. And for the most part, it was tame. If I'm Lindor and I'm called out a strike, on a ball that is over the opposite batter's box, me and that ump are fighting.
Yo, fact.
Hand to
Facts.
God.
I will
hand to God.
Second you 100%.
Like I'm nose to nose with him, and if he so much as breathes anything other than I fucked that up, my bad, it's on site.
That's it.
It's on site.
That's it. I'm getting kicked out the MLB.
Facts. It's the last day I'll play. Like I'm too on site about it. Like that's my issue. That's why, because if I hit a home run, I'm throwing the bat into the stands. And if you call me on strike on some bullshit like that, as a man, I must box you.
If you call me on a strike on some shit like that,
like if it's close,
I'm back swinging.
Right.
I'm back swinging. I'm making sure I connect across every inch of your fucking face.
If it's close, but I feel strongly about it, I'm gonna give you that. That come on, man, look. But if it's something like that is like by a significant portion, by like a football yard,
it literally would have hit a right-hand batter.
Right.
It would have hit a right-handed batter.
And if you miss me like that and call me a strike and punch me out, not even strike one or strike two, but you
and then you actually like animate it, and then you animate it instead of just being like strike three.
Right.
Use it
I'm gonna turn around and punch you out. Now I get it. Lindor lost his beard and maybe some of his.
I don't think he lost his beard. I think he was thinking smart. He was like, "Don't worry, my coaches got."
So you're saying, I get it.
My coaches will do the talking.
I get it now. So you're saying
because the Yankees don't play that shit.
I can't play in the MLB because I'm stupid, is what you're saying.
No, you can play in the MLB. No. I bet you have. I would guarantee you have all the talent to play in the MLB. But what I'm saying is that our mouths don't let us in the MLB. They don't let us in the MLB.
Hand to God. All of this staring down the pitcher.
No, fuck
looking
that.
Looking
Look
at
me stupid. I'm gonna make sure you cross-eyed for the rest of your life.
Me and Angel Hernandez, the worst ump in the MLB. Me and him would have like a restraining order. A restraining order.
If I had to face a Chapman and he does that little stare down every time, bro, I'm cracking you, bro.
Did you see? I don't know. I'm pretty sure I shared it, but I can't remember if I did, and maybe it was on TikTok. But Tennessee, the college team, the baseball team, the Tennessee College, they fucking volunteers. The kid hit a game-winning.
I seen that
grand slam, and he his team is rushing the field, and he turned around, and it was crazy. He turned around like back to first base and chucked the bat over his shoulder. That's the most disrespectful bat flip I've ever seen. And if you think that earned, for sure,
that's when you do a bat flip.
And if you think that shit was earned, if you think that shit was disrespectful, I would have thrown the bat at the pitcher. Go fuck yourself.
That is a earned bat flip. That is a strictly
but here's my issue.
Bat flip.
If I'm in the MLB and I'm smacking a home run, I don't care if it's the first inning. The disrespectful bat flips.
Anyway, we've been on the Yankees. I've been gone for a week. My bad, guys.
I miss my husband.
Tony La Russa. You got to give him his credit. Shout out to him.
Crazy.
Second all-time in wins with 2,764 wins.
That's
now,
crazy.
Mind you, he retired for 10 years.
Yep.
Hit the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
And the all-times winner is like 3790 something.
Yeah.
If he would have made if he would have coached those 10 years,
he would have had an honest shot.
I'm not gonna say he breaks it. I'm gonna say he has an honest, like you said,
an honest
shot.
So
and deserves his credit. Congrats, Tony La Russa. Second all time, like baseball wins. That's harder than anything.
So, and that's what's crazy to me is that yes, Tony La Russa has earned it, right? Clearly, and I won't take it from him.
A dick of a coach.
But on the flip side, exactly, Tony La Russa is everything that's wrong with baseball.
No, he's old. No, I wouldn't say everything. I wouldn't say everything. I just says he's so old school.
But that's what's wrong with baseball.
But not everything old school is wrong. There are some things that
these unwritten rules are bullshit, and that's why I'm roasting La Russa.
So you're going on the 03.
Yes.
No. Okay. So this is where
if my batter is at plate, up 1,000 runs. I'm talking absurd bullshit. Up 1,000 runs, 3-0. I'm giving the tap, 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 swing away, motherfucker. It's not my job to pull back off the gas because you can't pitch. That's on you. You want to have your fucking backup center fielder fucking pitch to me? That's your fault. Swing the fuck away, send that shit yard.
That's
Tony La Russa. And then in the media calling out his own team, props to him for his wins. I won't take it from him. But it's that old school bullshit, which is why baseball is dying.
Nope. I firmly disagree. I get the point.
Go back to Mexico.
I get the point. Damn, racist.
That's fine.
That came from a white man, guys. I'm Puerto Rican.
You were just in Mexico.
No, that came from guys. You heard it here first. I'm breaking down the tape. That came from a white man to a Puerto Rican. That is racist.
You were just in Mexico.
I'm fucking with you.
I know.
Please don't press charges on my buddy Zack.
Oh my God, it's all fun and games until.
No, this is where I disagree. Because I know that was good. This is where I disagree. Fist bump. So I get Tony. There's certain rules where, like, it's like you have to start adapting to the new age.
Right.
I get it. When it comes to, if my team puts up, you don't see really more than anything. I think the most I've seen while I've been alive was like 25 runs.
Sure, yeah. You don't really see it all.
You don't see anything really more than like 10.
Yeah.
And even 10, you're like, oh shit, 10 is a lot.
Like winning by 6 is considered, yeah.
I get it if it's a close game where an extra innings and we get to the point where like fielders have to pitch. And you're like, yo, you go yard on anything that motherfucker throws over the plate. This is where I have a problem, and this is where I stand with the old rule of, and this is why I love baseball, the integrity of you're not trying to embarrass the other person. Hear me out.
I'm listening.
You're trying to destroy the team. You're not trying to embarrass a product or an organization. You're not trying to go out there. I get it. There's teams, they score their 20, they score this 20-7, 20, whatever. And they're not out there just aiming for home runs.
Right.
They're not aiming for home runs, but they're not giving up strikes. They're making their contact. They're, running the bases. They're doing basic baseball at that point. And if you hit for a home run, I get it. This is what gets me really upset. You strictly went against your coach's call. Your coach tells you it's 3-0, take a strike. We're up fucking 15 runs. I want you to take this strike and then swing away on whatever. He strictly went against his coach's call and went on a guy who's not a pitcher. That's why he said just take the what's one strike, even if it crosses the plate, which I highly doubt that it was going to cross the plate. I think it was kind of high. I think he was going to get walked anyway.
That was a fucking softball.
I think it was going to get walked anyway, and it was 47 miles per hour.
Right, yeah. It was a softball.
If your coach was to say like, yo, fuck it, swing away. But when your coach says, take that pitch, take that, we're gonna win regardless, take that pitch, and you blatantly disregard your head coach, that's telling you, I don't give a fuck what you say.
Yep.
I don't want that. Tony La Russa, it's too soft on him. I would have instantly gone.
Goodbye.
Gone.
And
gone.
I'm happy to be
You're
gone.
No. I'm not trading you.
That's fine.
I'm sending you down.
That's fine.
I'm sending you down.
And I'll bop homers down there and wait for another team to pick me up.
No, you're going to bop homers in my minor league until I feel like trading you.
Nah, see, that's crazy to me. Just because you can't stop me, that's between you and God and has nothing to do with me.
It's a blatant disrespect to your head coach.
But my head coach should have never fucking called the fucking take it. Fuck that shit.
You're up 15, almost 18 runs. You don't need the home run. You don't need the home run.
I don't. I also don't need alcohol, but here I am drinking it. That's between them and God.
Nope.
Ain't got nothing to do with me.
Nope.
You want to throw me a 47-mile-an-hour softball over the middle of the plate?
I can get it. You know what? I'll even give you even more leeway. I can get it if they had a legit pitcher pitching while we're up that much. A legit pitcher, fuck it, crush it. But you got this guy throwing fucking bullshit 47 mile per hour ephus balls, and I tell you,
that's a new term for me, by the way.
It's a weird pitch. It's like
in
between of a knuckleball and
this year is the first time I've ever heard that.
No, I've heard it a few times,
but no,
I've heard it a few times, but it's a weird pitch.
Nah,
but if your coach is like, yo, just take the pitch and then fucking go ham on anything else, what's so wrong with just being like, all right, coach, fuck it. Like, we're obviously going to win this
Remember that disrespectful bat flipping I was talking about? And I was throwing it at the pitcher? This time, I'm throwing it at my coach. That's your fault for being soft, bro.
I'm not being soft. I got the win. We're in the 8th inning. We're in the 8th. Fucking, you think they're scoring 17 runs?
I want mine.
No, that's greedy. That's disgusting, right. And you don't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
That's why
you don't deserve to be in the MLB.
Have I made it clear yet why I shouldn't be? I have made, in my defense, I have said from square one, despite my physical outlook, I have no business mentally being in the MLB because I'm a disrespectful motherfucker. And if you want to throw that shit like that, that's on you and on God.
Anyway,
it has nothing to do with me.
Anyway, we're still too much on baseball, and we got one more topic. MLB has now reached 200, the 20,000th player to play in the MLB,
which is still crazy.
Yes, they've been
you
playing
brought it
for
up
so
on
long.
Sports Me a couple of weeks ago, which is why it tripped me up. But yeah, it's considering baseball being America's pastime. I feel like 20,000. I thought it was low.
I was expecting like
200,000.
For real.
Million?
For real. When I heard 20,000, I thought, oh, they typo 2 million.
Right. I agree with you.
And this is what trips me out even more. So, according to the MLB, I think maybe 3 or 4 days later, after the 20,000th player, the MLB has recorded their 1 millionth earned, not unearned. There's no, like Zach, I love that quote. There's no UE.RA. It's earned run. They scored.
There's a backstory there.
Yeah, they scored their 1 millionth run, but it does not include the Negro League,
which
would easily break 2 mil.
Which I think is the super interesting statistic here, and maybe why my mentality about 20,000 and 1 million earned is shocking. Is that the Negro League has such an important effect on baseball as we know it today. Obviously, Jackie Robinson. I mean, if you can't understand that history, then you're not a baseball fan, and you should probably go back and look because it's extraordinarily important. But that's probably what explains it. It is the lack of inclusion. And I guess there's a question there.
So, okay,
why are we not including the Negro League in these MLB statistics?
I was going to say, you sounded like a question, and I was going to literally answer you like a question. God. I 100,000 million% agree that the Negro League should be part of the stats. You know why? Because the NFL and the AFL, they're part of the stats.
Yeah,
well, I mean, not all of them.
Canton, trust me, Canton has a specific and large and proper section for Black history in the NFL and the Black League, and for God forbid, forgive me, I can't remember its name, prior to the NFL.
And I know for a fact, because I've seen it watching multiple games, there's certain, I'm not going to say all stats, there's certain stats that when shit gets broken, they're like, oh, that's AFL and NFL broken.
Right. Correct.
You know, NBA didn't really have that problem. It's always been the NBA. They just integrated from being white to black to they pretty much integrated from being white to primarily black. Right. So like they can't
keep up.
Yeah, there's no real fight in the NBA because now the black, like, I'm sorry, I don't want to say it like that. Now the black community, pretty much owns the NBA, even though they're still dealing with a lot of fucking bullshit that I still want to fight on.
Well, ain't that the truth? I mean, just 2-3 years ago, there was an owner that was forced to sell his team because of the racist bullshit. Clippers, right? The racist bullshit that he was saying.
But now the owner is a white billionaire, but he's
not a racist piece of shit.
He loves his fucking squad.
Right. Well, as you should.
Exactly. And what kills me is that as much as baseball is my favorite sport of all time, it is the most racist sport ever.
And not saying that old school baseball fans are racist. I am not saying that.
Some old school rules should stand, but then again...
But it's that old school, we can't let things change mentality that I think really fucks me up to my core.
Why shouldn't the Negro League be a part?
I agree wholeheartedly. Now I understand. Yes, the Negro League was not technically Major League Baseball, as we're looking at it as companies, not as comparing humans to humans, just like Sunoco isn't fucking.
But that was then. This is now. Those were two Major League squads that had to be different because of color.
What a comeback to a very previous conversation that we've had. Is it the MLB Hall of Fame or is it the Baseball Hall of Fame? The context of these things are very important.
I get it.
And when considering baseball, we must consider the Negro League. And I think the MLB, I understand the Negro League was a separate company, if that's the way you wish to look at it. I think the MLB would do very well to include those statistics.
They would. I feel like if the MLB actually just... Because everyone in the higher end of MLB are just still those white racist assholes.
Yeah.
I put it straight blankly.
Yeah.
First one. I said what I said. The MLB, everyone above in the commissioner's office and all that. Or besides, even Rob Manfred.
Fuck Rob Manfred. You won't let
all of you motherfuckers are racist pieces of shit, fucking just garbage. You guys only care about your fucking dollar in your pocket, and trust me, you got plenty of it, you fucking assholes.
Well, I think that's the... I won't go so far as to call people that I don't know racist, but I will say that the overarching mentality does not favor.
The more money you have, it is more statistically proven that you are a racist piece of shit.
I'm not going to disagree with that. But I am going to say that a prevailing old school mentality, even as Yankees fans, the Steinbrenners, you can't have a beard.
I want to fight it too, but at the same time, I look at the tradition and I'm like, I get it. You win, and you want to win professionally, and you want to do everything so professionally, and that is a professional look. So I take it like that way.
My mans, I'm a professional, and look at this glorious, beautiful shit.
I love your beard. I like to tug it when I brand you from the back, but...
Brings up a lot of logistical errors.
I get the way they look at it. You want to look professional, no names on the back.
That old school mentality that I guess I'm fucking
those things, you know what? Those things I'm okay with. That's something that doesn't hurt me.
It does to me, though.
That doesn't hurt me.
Francisco Lindor going from badass to garden gnome fucks me up.
I don't care. That doesn't hurt me.
Johnny Damon doesn't hurt you going from badass.
I actually like Johnny with no beard because he looked like a fucking homeless man
and no long hair.
He looked like a homeless man, bro.
Baby, give me the hair back.
At least the hair.
Right,
that's what I'm saying. At least the hair. But I'm not gonna.
Well, some of us can't grow hair.
But I'm not gonna fight the system. I get it. This is their rule for their organization. This is how they run it. I get that part. And that's for any color. But when you make it about color, that's when I'm like, bruh.
But I guess that's my beef, is that this old school mentality and looking at color as less than are tied to me. Maybe I'm a piece of shit. But for me, when looking at the sport of baseball...
Because the Yankees are known to take a lot of Hispanics and blacks.
Well, sure. Keep in mind, the Brooklyn Dodgers, who, are the forefathers of the New York Yankees, were the first team to have a black player on it, Jackie Robinson. So, and I'm not speaking it again. I won't go so far as to call people I don't know racist, but I will say that to me, that old school mentality is so very closely in line with the reason that we won't include the Negro League statistics. And maybe I'm a piece of shit.
But I do believe, and I get it. Maybe the Yankees are one of those teams where...
And I'm not calling out the Yankees specifically.
No, I will call them out. I'm a Yankee fan, and I don't want no Boston bitch, and I don't want no one else to be like, oh, but you won't call out your own team. No, right. I will call out my own team when I see fit.
Right.
And I can say, I can see why some people look at the Yankees organization and be like, they're racist. I can see it. But
it's that old school mentality that makes it easy.
But that's their excuse. Old school mentality. But when you look at the Yankees, they are literally almost the first fucking team every single time to stand up for the shit that they fight for, which was equality, color, race, everything. They're the first ones to come out and fight. The only thing that they want for their organization
is look professional.
Is look professional, and their professional look to them is clean shit. And I get it. When in a blue collar, or I want not blue collar, white collar, in a white collar area, you're always shaven, clean, professional, suit, tie. That's their look. That's what they want to go for. So I get it.
I guess. It's hard for me. It's hard for me to not tie those old school values to the very same things that, again, don't allow us to include the Negro League statistics in this. But anyway, let's
shoot up. Yeah, we got a lot. NBA.
God, you were too excited coming in. So
let me.
You have to.
I will shout out good old man. If you guys don't know him, Miles Per Hour. Go on Sports Me. Shout out Miles Per Hour. He's a young guy who just graduated from high school.
No, graduated from college.
It's college. He just graduated from college.
Yes.
Correction on me. Congrats to that man.
Yes.
He wants to be a sports analyst. He loves sports. He's born and raised in Atlanta. He loves his Hawks. And we set up a bet. And the bet was if the Knicks win or if Atlanta wins, the opposite person has to throw on the opposite team's jersey and has to eat a dozen of the hottest fucking wings we can get and have to videotape it. And Miles Per Hour, you heard it here first. I said what I said. I also will stand by my word on this. We will get you on the podcast. I will let you gloat. I will let you ride it because the Hawks are still playing well. They beat the 76ers in game 1.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah, they beat the 76ers.
I didn't realize that.
They beat them by 4. They were up by a lot.
Right,
but then the 76ers did their thing. They came back, but they lost by 4. But
win by 4, win by 400. Still win.
Trae Young went off again. He's been averaging well over 30 points in the playoffs, 10 assists. 76ers got to do what they got to do to try to fix this ship. But Miles Per Hour, congrats to you. And I will. I think tomorrow I will go to the to Tuesday. It would be Tuesday. I would go to the store and I'm gonna get myself an Atlanta jersey, and that
was hard.
And try to that was hard. I was sweating right there, and I was already sweating, and I didn't even eat the wings. I'll go and I'll get some fucking super hot wings. I got actually a bar right down the road that makes like this wing challenge shit, so I might just do that.
There you go.
And you will see it.
It was tough for the Knicks. I feel like so again, I've said this from the beginning, casual Knicks fan, not a big basketball person. I feel like watching the games, and I watched pretty much all of them against Atlanta, if you thought Tom Tibbs' defense was stellar, Atlanta's defense was out of this world. I feel like no Knick had a single fucking space of breathing room. Now, D-Rose did D-Rose things and carried his team, but I feel like everybody else, Julius Randle, quickly, everybody just, I'm not willing to say they choked, but I will say from what I saw, Atlanta gave them nothing and forced them to be something more than human. And unfortunately, the Knicks were not prepared to be more than human.
Nah, they weren't. Julius Randle never showed up.
No.
I think he showed up game 4 and 5 where he had like 24, 25. Right. He did his thing. I give it to him that every game he averaged a double-double.
Right. Well,
even if he couldn't perform offensively, able to bang boards, get assists, be a presence, and draw double teams.
Right.
But he never showed up, and that was a question that the Lakers had when they traded him away. Like, man doesn't show up in the playoffs. So
Right.
hopefully maybe he showed up for the Knicks. He had a great season. We're expecting him to show up maybe next year. Barrett played very well, but there was games where he didn't show up.
Right.
Quickly, I expected them to play him more. They didn't play him as much as I thought.
Yeah.
And when he played, he brought a lot of electricity. But then again, I think the last 2 games, he didn't really do much.
Right.
Which I think it equates to him not getting the minutes he was used to in the season.
So if you think he got more, he would have done better?
He would have, been more in a rhythm.
Okay.
Elfrid Payton, from the jump, I said should not be on the Knicks team.
I remember.
Shouldn't even be a starter.
Right.
Shouldn't even be a starter. But for some odd fucking marriage of whatever deal, that fucking crack deal that went down, he was promised to start no matter what.
Right.
That's what I heard. He was promised to start no matter how shitty he played. He was promised to start.
That's interesting.
So, and that's what I'm sorry. That brings me back to fucking high school bullshit when daddy's coaching son.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't like that, Greg Bartle and Mr. Bartle. I don't like that bullshit. I call that shit straight out.
Right.
I call that shit straight out how I see it. And
Fair
it's what, 11 years since high school, and I still call that bullshit out.
Don't make me feel old, please.
I still call that bullshit out. But and then to put all, I get it, Tom Thibodeau loves his players, but to put all that effort on D Rose, yes, balled out 30 plus almost every day.
He did the best that he could do.
But you're putting too much stress on him. And when you're not letting him do the damage off the bench, there's no one to do the damage off the bench.
Right.
So
I feel you.
I give it. The Knicks loss. Atlanta definitely has that's why I said this was the best matchup in the first round.
Right.
I thought it would be more, balanced out competitively with the wins.
Right.
But these were 2 teams that have nothing to lose, 2 teams that haven't done shit in the playoffs in a long time. And you know what? Trae Young is a beast. He's going to do his thing.
To date, that was the most exciting playoff series.
And they kept it close every single time. I get it. Eventually, in I think 2 of the games, in 2 of the games, the Knicks ended up getting blown out by 20.
Sure,
but up until mid third quarter, where it's down by 2.
Only in the last Knicks loss when they got eliminated did I think in the first quarter that they can't come back. That was the only time that I was like, God damn it, it
hit me at halftime. So that last game hit me at halftime. They were doing good. I'm watching it on my phone. They're going back and forth.
Sure.
The Knicks are up by 2. They're down by 2. They're up by 2. They're down by 2.
Sure.
Then we go into halftime and we're down, I think, by 3 or 4. And then when it halftime hit, I was like, we're not coming back. We lost this one.
Right. Yeah, in the first quarter, at a certain point, I think they were down by 15-20. And they came back, but at that point when they went down, it was like I said before, it was the suffocating Atlanta defense. I think I saw 3 blocked shots in the span of 2 minutes, and I was like, Jesus fuck.
I think differently. It wasn't the defense. Atlanta, we had no problem with Atlanta's defense because we're known all season to only score 106 points a game.
Sure, and maybe it was just the shock value.
We're known to only let up about 101 points a game. That's what happened. The defense. You know what? Where in the defense it fucked me up? They could not stop the Trae Young pick and roll. They didn't know if he was going for the lob alley-oop, the floater, or he was going to step back and take the 3. They could not figure it out.
He does have a ridiculous floater, man. That thing is just unstoppable.
He has probably the second best floater, I would say, probably, or third best floater, probably behind maybe Luka Doncic and ain't
that another
and possibly Steph Curry.
Fair enough. Ain't that another
best
one?
Best floaters when you're getting in the lane and you're just bloop bloop.
Ain't that another one?
That's it.
And I have to say, speaking of Luka, can the Mavs get him some help for the love of God?
All day. Luka.
Luka was beating the brakes off the Clippers consistently.
He averaged 35.5 points and 10 assists and average in the whole 7-game series, 35.5 points, 7 assists.
If Luka could have one player score like an average 4 points more a game,
I am more happy the Knicks got rid of Porzingis now than ever.
Ain't that true?
Than ever.
Kristaps was supposed to be the future.
And then he wants to come out. He has the audacity to come out and say, I feel like more of an afterthought than a co-star.
Well, yeah, no shit.
You don't play like it, and you're injured all the time.
You are an afterthought, Kristaps. The Lion, the Witch, and the audacity of that bitch.
Okay, let's finish up with the MLB. Let's hit some NFL. Before we hit the NFL, ending with the MLB, the NBA. Sorry. The playoffs are pretty much set. We got Utah going against possibly.
The Lakers and the Heat got bounced. Before the
I'm just glad that the finals will be anything other than LeBron and Steph Curry.
So before, the preview of the next playoffs, if you remember who it is the bubble. So obviously last year in all of sports, there will be an asterisk next to everything, right? The NFL, MLB, like no matter what, there will be an asterisk next to the COVID year of sports. Should there be the largest asterisk next to basketball? You had the 2 finals contenders bounced in the first round. Is the largest asterisk next to basketball?
I feel like, okay, so if unless there's an official rule of a change of a season, like, you know what, basketball decides, you know what, I no longer want to do 82 games.
Right.
I wanted to make it 90 games.
Right.
Or 70 games.
Right.
Unless there's an official rule and everyone starts at the same president and everything like trickles into effect that everyone has to deal with it from now on.
Right.
That is a fair slate for everyone.
So
I think COVID is an anomaly.
So is there an asterisk?
So I would always for NBA, for MLB,
So does this, I guess specifically talking about the NBA, does last year and this year, so last year Lakers winning and this year getting bounced in the first round, does this irrevocably hurt GOAT talk for LeBron?
No.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like last year he won, and me and you had this conversation last year when he won. Me and you specifically had this conversation, and I said it's done. You can't hate on him anymore.
It's
done.
No,
and then he gets bounced this year.
It doesn't. It does. Sorry, I didn't mean to slap your hand. Yeah, I'm slapping your hand. Oh, fuck out of here. Put that shit down. Put that pivot hand down. No, it shouldn't affect him. You know why? Because all the people are bitching that he won off of a short season should also be bitching that he lost
off of a short off season.
No, because the off season has the play-in playoffs. You got these play-in playoffs, so he had to play the play-in playoffs and then go beat Steph Curry and then come and play. No,
so you're defending LeBron now.
I will defend. Okay. If you're gonna put an asterisk on one season, you have to put an asterisk on the play-in tournament.
So both of these seasons get asterisks.
I feel yes. Because they already came out and said there's no playoff tournament for next season. They're going to do like a mid-season tournament all-star bullshit. Which probably, I wouldn't say put an asterisk on it because it's probably something they're going to prolong with.
So I will say, and we have receipts, you said from the rip at the beginning of this NBA season, at the beginning of the sports season, you said that this would have standing effects for I think you said something around 5 to 6 years to come that this would have standing effects for.
I want to say maybe 3. I think I said 3 or 4.
Oh, okay.
3 or 4, maybe 5. But yeah, because now you're adding what COVID did was add more, able to make some idiot add more rules to shit.
Right. Fair enough.
Anyway, continuing on, and a miles per hour. I will reiterate. I got you.
Man of his word.
Zach knows best. I am a man of my word.
Ain't that the truth?
Going into the NFL, this one's going to be really, really short. Did you really put NFL Annapolis?
Yeah, so you were talking about that player out of Annapolis earlier.
Oh, I thought you were trying to joke on me about the Annapolis.
No. I mean, if you want, I could get real salty here.
No. Okay, so rookie. Let me actually bring it up and say it again. This is it goes with football and it's military sign lined with it and it.
So as a backstory, there have been plenty of players, obviously, that have entered the draft and that have been signed by NFL teams that have come out of service academies, be that in Colorado for the Air Force, in Maryland for the Navy, in New York for Army. There have been plenty of players that have come out of service academies that obviously when you come from a service academy, you have to fulfill a service contract to the military. But there have been ways around it via reserve or guard contracts or deferred contracts that have allowed players to play in the NFL. So that's the backstory to this specific contract that Hector's talking about.
Yeah, so something, and I always would love to bring up, excuse me, any military thing that has to do with sports. Like if you're part of the military and something has to do with sports, I'll probably bring it up because it's a topic that I love to bring up.
Sure,
so I love my military and I love my sports. Navy and won't let it's rookie cornerback Cameron Kinley delay his commission because he was signed by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and they won't let him. Like he did minicamp, he did spring training, he did all the works, and he put in to, delay his commission to serve his country like many others have and gotten approved for. Mm-hmm. And they denied him to play. Now, I don't get it. Like, is it because it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Is it because they think he won't make it?
Right. So there's not a terrible amount of information surrounding this. Like, does he have a job-specific thing to the Navy that requires him to be a part of the service? Now, look, again, when you join a service academy like Annapolis, there is not just an expectation, but a signed written contract that once you graduate, you will be an officer in that designated
or a branch. You get to choose. It doesn't just because you went to Navy doesn't mean you have to be Navy. You can be a Marine. It doesn't matter. You pick a branch and you're an officer.
You will be an officer in that branch. So there is obviously a signed contract here. So before everybody hops on and be like, well, he signed something and he knew what it was. There is also a precedent set for many service members that allow him to choose to play in the NFL. Now, again, the federal government, which is the military, has the choice to tell him to go fuck himself or to actually, play in the NFL. And I believe you brought up that his lawyer was a combat veteran, was the
guy that serves in the I want to say it is his lawyer.
I thought you said it was his lawyer. Was a combat veteron, did graduate.
Yeah, it's his attorney. His attorney that serves for the company. It was Divine Sports and Entertainment co-founder Ryan Williams Jenkins.
Right.
There you go. That's who said it.
Right. Fucking served in the military, graduated from a service academy.
Naval Academy.
Right. Was the Annapolis graduate, was a combat veteran, and played in the NFL.
With really good NFL players. He named like 6 NFL players.
Right. Obviously backed his client because that's what he's paid to do, but brought up that there is clear precedent set that this can occur. And since nobody's been afforded a reason why, there's a major malfunction here. Now, again, obviously Hector, having served in the military, and myself understanding logic, understands that when you sign a contract, there are certain things expected of you. You signed a fucking contract.
Yeah, you got to serve.
But there is precedent not to get out of his service, but there is precedent
He didn't want
set to defer or serve in other ways. And I think this is important to see how this plays out.
Yes, I would like to see that because, like you've already stated, there have been multiple players that have played.
I mean, that article alone states what? 6?
You got West Point's John Radigan, who signed with the Seattle Seahawks. Air Force, and excuse me, but for the pronunciation of some of these names, we got John Radigan of West Point. You got that signed with Seattle. Air Force, Nolan Laufenberg, and George Silvanic, who signed with Denver and Los Angeles. And then you still have someone who decided to put his NFL career aside, go serve, and then come back, who I think is on Kansas City. I can't remember his name or something like that.
I believe I know who you're talking about.
Maybe Pittsburgh or something like that.
Are you talking about Alejandro Villanueva on Pittsburgh, the lineman there?
I know he's still a nurse that like has been away. He hasn't even come back.
So Alejandro Villanueva served in the Army and is now a lineman for the Steelers. And the nurse that you're talking about did come from
Kansas City.
Yeah,
he went and took out all last year to go help. Okay, so
we're not saying you shouldn't serve your country. Please don't fucking hop at us.
No,
and serve your country. That
I serve my fucking country. Right. I come on.
That's what I'm saying. But there is clear precedent set now. If he has a job or whatever that is integral to the operations of the Navy or Marine Corps or whatever, then fine. I get it. But then release the fact that he does. Give an explanation. But the fact that there is no explanation given and
no reason why
they're going against precedent is a little concerning.
No reason why, no president, no nothing. No real logical reason of why they even came out and said there's no real reason why they're denying him except the fact that they're denying him.
Right. Hashtag let him play for the love of God. Like,
he's what? Maybe 23?
Right. He has plenty of time
tell
to
him,
serve.
Play to 26 and then come serve.
Right. Right. Do 4 years. Say that you play in the NFL.
Or, I mean, maybe he wants to try to play before he serves. Like that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to play before he serves.
I don't know. I just think it's insane. There's been precedent set that allows him to. And I know I've harped on that probably.
I don't get it. If the military is so voluntary, I don't get why you still have to sign a contract.
I get why you have to sign a contract.
No, it's voluntary. It is by law. This is I love my military. I love my Marines.
Right.
By law, it is a voluntary.
It is
by federal USA America federal law. It is voluntary to go into the military.
Right.
Why do you have to sign a contract? You should be able to go in
because there's
get out.
So now, as a clear not service member, and I'll make that clear, there's certain expectations, right? It's a contract. It's an exchange of goods. Let's put it that way. I'm a capitalist.
So it's not voluntary.
Yes, it is. An exchange of goods is completely voluntary. Nobody made you join the military, but when you did, when you said, I will give you myself, there is an exchange of goods.
Okay.
The good is yourself.
You got me.
And the expectation is, we'll call it 4 years. There is an exchange here.
But then they put in the contract the extra 4 years.
It's not an extra 4 years. The contract is,
prove me wrong.
So hold on.
I did anything wrong in the last 4 years, if I did anything.
Oh, you're saying past your original 4 years.
After my 4 original years, you got to do 4 years inactive. That means if you do anything wrong, if war breaks out, if anything, you're booked for 8.
Now, see,
you're booked for 8.
But that's different than a consignment out of a military academy. So what the military is saying, so say you go to Annapolis.
I'm going too deep. Going too deep.
You're going in a different route. I wouldn't say too deep. I would say a different route. You're going to Annapolis. I'm the federal government. You're a guy who wants to go into Annapolis. I say, I want you, your physical body and your mind. I will give you 4 years of free education that is
not guaranteed. Not guaranteed. I'm going to tell you that right now. Don't let them fool you. Not guaranteed.
I will give you, if you can cut it, I will give you 4 years of free education that is equal to the best education in the world.
Sounds good, but it's not
I'll give you 4 years of free education, and I expect a 4-year enlistment after, or a 4-year officer enlistment after.
Like you, just in case you'll be reservist. If war and we need more people.
But upon signing, I get something and you get something. So yes, technically he is trying to void that to me agreeable contract. I don't give you something for free without getting something, no matter what.
They never gave me anything from the first 4 years.
Yes, they did. If you're this gentleman,
tell me.
I'll
fight you on everything.
If you're this gentleman, they give you a free education.
The free education is the last 4. I would put the free education on the last 4 reservist years.
That's not a reservist years. This is a commission as an officer.
The commission officer is the same shit. The contract, you're signed 4 years, and then after your 4 years,
so what? They give you a 4-year commission and let you walk away?
No, so you get out. Just like enlisted, you get out after 4 years.
I don't know if it's the same way, man. Now I'm not.
Now
again,
it's 4
I'm not
years
in,
left
but
over. There's still 4 years left over on your contract. That if war breaks out and they need people, they can recall you.
Right, and I believe, again, as someone who's not in, I believe that's an enlisted contract. The contracts for an officer are different.
I'm not going to fight you on it. Right. I should actually.
This is something
I'm enlisted. I'm enlisted. I let people know that I'm enlisted. I should do more information on my officer process. But I would expect more out of the officers because you need more leaders, even though they're fucking garbage leaders. You need more leaders than you need soldiers. Or should I say, my perspective, Marines.
Point being is that
because there's a fucking difference. I am not a fucking soldier. I am a Marine. Get it right.
Point being is that there is precedent, and we should.
Sorry, you got Hector. He's back. I'm telling you. I said what I said.
Point being is we should let this gentleman play. So, you said before that you don't know what the answer was to the Lions' first 4,000-yard pass rusher.
I said Matt Stafford because you know what? It's point blank that the only guy I've ever known for the Detroit Lions, out of any position, I mean, now I can change it and say Kenny Galladay
for sure.
But who made that man?
I mean, it's not
Matt Stafford.
It's not a bad take, and a lot of people would rationally pick Matt Stafford.
Shit, come on,
Scott Mitchell.
Okay, who is he?
That's fair.
Who is this man?
And that was 60 years later. 1930 was when the Lions came to play, and Scott Mitchell did it in the 90s.
I can ask my mother and father. They're not football fans, but I would ask.
I could ask my mother, who's a football fan.
I would ask most football fans in that relate to that era.
Right.
And they'd be like, who?
It just goes to show how tragically bad the dirty expansion team Detroit Lions are.
I get the hate of an expansion team. Yeah. And I get why they call it an expansion team.
Dirty.
It's a team that gets put in.
They expanded. It's a dirty expansion team.
So you can do that with so you can do that.
None of my teams.
You can do that. No, I'm not saying your teams.
Okay.
You can do that with almost half the teams of any league.
Well, that sucks for them.
Because every league started off somehow with maybe 6. 12.
Funny you bring that up.
Whatever team.
I'm a Rangers fan, and they're part of the original 6, as they call it. That's every other dirty expansion team's fault. That's not mine.
That's what I'm saying. Like obviously, the Yankees, the Rangers.
Yeah.
The New York Jets.
Yep.
The
Giants are a dirty expansion team.
I was gonna bring that up later. But I'm just saying those, you got teams, and obviously we're only relating it to New York because we are New Yorkers.
Naturally.
But those are teams that have been along since day one.
Well, A1.
And obviously, as the years go by, the league expands, so that means teams need to grow.
Yeah, less than.
Everything. So technically, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Dirty expansion team.
They were expansion team.
Actually, that's a lie.
Every team every team out of the original squad that came out of the league originally started is an expansion team. That's what I'm getting to.
Well, sucks to suck.
That's what I'm getting to.
So you have an inferior fucking history.
No, but what I'm saying is that every team. So I don't quote me on it. I don't know. Like, go back in time, look it up. Who was the original teams for every sport? MLB, Cleveland. NFL, NHL, whatever sport you want to look it up. Look it up. The original when the league started, and they were like, "This is this product." What are the teams?
Most of my teams.
So when you expand,
dirty heathens,
and it doesn't matter what, because I know teams come later and later.
I know, and
like the Titans and shit like that, and
I'm older than the Titans, sir.
And that's what I'm saying. They didn't come till even later. So that means every team out of the original teams, according to your eyes, are expansion teams.
Dirty expansion teams.
I wouldn't
unclean.
I wouldn't fight it, but I would fight it. I would say.
Well, the dirty might be wrong, but the expansion isn't.
I would say, yeah. I'm sorry. I don't care. If you're not a Jet or Giants fan, and you're not a Yankees fan, and you're not a Rangers fan, then fuck you guys. Yeah, you're not a Liberties fan. If you're not a New York fan, you can lick my taint. When it's salty and sweaty after a 9-mile run.
Even the Giants are dirty expansion teams. Just saying. Anywho.
It is.
Last week, the question was, who in the NFL had the most Super Bowl losses? Which team in the National Football League had the most Super Bowl losses? Now, I tease this, that it is a trick question. And I will now reveal why. Because there's more than one team.
Ooh. Did I answer the question? I think I was listening to the question on the previous episode.
Sure.
Before you walked in the door.
I literally walked into you listening to it.
Yeah, and I was trying to figure out who I would think.
So who is it?
Would it be? Repeat that question real quick.
Which team in the National Football League has the most Super Bowl losses?
Okay, so my initial reaction was the Buffalo Bills.
And that's fair.
That was my initial reaction.
They had four straight losses.
But then I was thinking it through. I'm like, damn, I don't really think they made a Super Bowl after that. And I think there has been more teams to join the Super Bowl.
It's a volume. So again, trick question, because there's two teams that are tied, and one of them, it's a volume kind of question, if you dig what I'm saying. So your final answer?
I would say, so I'll throw two teams out there. I'm going to say the Patriots. No, I take that back. I'm going to keep my original with the Bills and also throw in the Steelers.
Based off of my clue, that is fair. But you're wrong on both accounts. You should have stuck with your original answer. The Patriots.
Motherfuckers, I knew it.
And the Broncos are tied with 5 Super Bowl losses apiece. The Bills have 4.
And both came from Eli. 2 of them came from Eli.
Right? The Bills have 4 losses, but it's that 4 back-to-back losses.
I think that's the most horrible.
Right. The Jim Kelly 4 Super Bowl losses straight but it's the Broncos and the Patriots who have 5 Super Bowl losses apiece.
Oh, I knew I should have stood with the Patriots. I was gonna say the Patriots, and possibly the Steelers. But
I mean, the Steelers is fair.
They've been in a lot of Super Bowls. I was trying to think how many Super Bowls. I didn't want to say Green Bay. I was like,
Green Bay is a fair answer.
How many Super Bowls people have been in?
Who immediately went the Green Bay route. So it's a fair answer.
But he's Green Bay.
But they've also one of the longest tenured teams in the
obviously,
NFL.
I'm not gonna go Giants and Jets or whatever, but So the only reason I didn't go with the Patriots is because I'm like, all right, so they won 6 with Brady,
right?
They won, but they won 5 with Brady, but lost 2, and I didn't expect them.
They've won 6 with Brady. You're right. They won all. The Patriots have 6 Super Bowls.
I'm sorry. They won 6 with Brady and lost 2.
Yep.
But I didn't. Going back, I'm trying to date back the timeline. I was like, did they really make the playoffs before Brady's era?
Yeah, but they just lost. But it's interesting you bring up the Jets and the Giants. In which stadium did the Falcons win their first regular season game ever? Again, in which stadium did the Falcons win their first regular season game ever?
And just like we always do, obviously, me and Zach go over our individual answers off screen. So my answer will not be on this. So figure it out. And do not Google search anything. Because you know why? I will find you.
It's like a bad scene from Taken. So
I will find you. And I will kill you. Something like that.
Yeah, it's close.
It's been a while since I've seen the first movie.
It's close.
It's been a while. I will find you. I will.
We've been drinking an average of 6.5% alcohol beverages.
Actually, it's more of an average of 7.2.
I can't do math. In which stadium did the Falcons win their first regular season game ever?
And I have already stated my answer, so I can't shout it out. My balls! I'm back, bitches!
In case you didn't know, Hector's back. But we have to talk about Julio. This has been a long-standing conversation piece as to where did he come from and where did he go? Where will you go, Julio Jones? But now we know. He requested, I guess, before the draft. We've covered this, that he requested before the draft to be traded. And then during the draft, the Falcons were looking for at least a number 1. That didn't happen. Then Shannon Sharp...
Well, they had someone. But apparently it was probably a fluke.
Right, it fell through. And then Shannon Sharp calls up Julio Jones on Undisputed. And Julio claims to this day that he didn't know he was live on television, which brings up another 4-hour-long conversation.
You can hit or miss on that, which Shannon Sharp, you can't put anything past that man.
I don't have enough time here.
Yeah, you can't put anything. But I'm just saying, you can't put anything past Shannon Sharp.
A mouth is what Shannon Sharp has always been.
Mm-hmm.
But Julio said he's out of Atlanta, and he has then since claimed he wants to be on a contending team, and then again claims that he wants to be in a big arm team, and he goes to not Green Bay, but to Tennessee. The Tennessee Titans were in the talks for a while, but I don't think anyone took it seriously. I thought he'd go to the 49ers, and I thought he'd go to 49ers, and then Aaron Rodgers would follow close behind. That's clearly not the case. He's going to the Titans, and unless something absurd happens, I can't assume that Rodgers would go to the Titans. So,
I was right there with you saying that. I honestly believe he would go to 49ers.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I didn't think Aaron Rodgers would go. I think it would be a Julio Jones and Garoppolo, and then Garoppolo eventually would get swapped out, and fuck, what's his name? The backup, Trey.
Trey Lance.
Trey Lance.
Yeah,
I was going to say Trey Jones.
I was going to say Trey Young.
Yeah, you know what? I honestly, that's how much I think about Trey Lance.
Like, right.
But I thought it was going to be that. I firmly believe just because I thought he was going to go with the coach situation. But then again, you got to think about that Julio doesn't have an option and where he's going.
Right.
A lot of people say Tennessee, and I'm looking at the team and I'm like, it fits, but what he said didn't fit.
Right.
So he's saying like, I want to go to a team that's going to win. You got a team that won.
I mean, they did lose in the divisional round, but put up a boxing match against the Chiefs.
But this was an off. I would say this is an off season if they can keep it going compared to last season, because last season like they were unstoppable.
Fair enough.
So like you put it as an off season. They can win. What killed me was you want the big arm, and I'm like, Tannehill has a arm.
Yeah,
I don't say he has a big arm.
So super interesting the way things play out. I'm on TikTok. I watched a kid who claimed that Derrick Henry did not make Ryan Tannehill, but Tannehill made Derrick Henry. And he used advanced analytics to justify that based off of yards versus expectation. So before Tannehill came onto the scene, Derrick Henry was negative in yards versus expectation. But when Tannehill came onto the scene, he was positive. And although advanced analytics is relatively useful, it doesn't take into account that Henry's attempts jumped like 30 and then 70 year over year. And then Tannehill's dropped so significantly since reaching the Titans. He had 4,000 yards twice with the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah,
but he had
to sling it.
Right. Well, he had 27 touchdowns and like 12 interceptions. And now he has significantly less attempts, 33 touchdowns and 7 interceptions or something like that. So although I think advanced analytics are useful in some cases, I think they're overblown. And the point being is that Ryan Tannehill doesn't have a gun like you would automatically assume with Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Matt Stafford. Insert
but it's the right arm.
It's the right arm.
Tom Brady. It is Tom Brady did not have the deep throw. I'm sorry, he did not.
I get where you're coming from, but if you want me to say Ryan Tannehill and Tom Brady in the same sentence, we're off.
No, I'm not saying in the sense of rings or anything. Please, people, get that out of your mind. It's straight, like people
physical talent,
and people think, because he got 6 rings, he's the best.
Right?
No,
right.
It doesn't work that way.
Right.
He has a great mind for the field, a just above average or even above average, or even subpar to the deep arm.
Sure.
A very good mid and a very, very good short. And then you also have probably the second or third best line in the league, on top of the best running back in the league, on top of not the best receiver in the league, but probably top 5 receiver in the league now.
So here's the crazy part, is I think I'm an old school man. We talked about it in many aspects with football. Football is a very simple thing to me. If you can't understand that, Remember the Titans. I run 3 plays, coach. It's a very simple playbook. When Herman Boone came onto the scene, he describes a very simple playbook that he runs. Football is very simple. And if I run my game the way I want to, I should be able to walk over to you as the defending team and tell you this is exactly what I will run. And I dare you to stop me.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing in Tennessee. Ryan Tannehill is a mediocre at best quarterback.
He is a better Ryan Fitzpatrick.
But Trent Dilfer was a mediocre at best quarterback. He had
an elite team.
Right.
Elite team.
Ta-da.
The Titans
are
not an elite team yet.
I just need Ryan Tannehill. Hold on. I just need Ryan Tannehill to exist in the moments between handing the ball off to Derek fucking Henry and throwing the slant routes to fucking AJ Brown and Julio Jones.
Their fucking business.
Oh my God. It's that simple.
And then you eventually.
And then what are you going to do as a defense?
Stack $8 against Derek Henry. I dare you.
Yes.
I dare you.
Thank you.
Put 1-on-1 against Julio Jones and AJ Brown.
Here we go.
Dare you.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Fucking dare you.
Here we go.
And this is why I said what I said, and Zach hasn't brought it up yet. I'm saying the Titans are going to the fucking Super Bowl.
I was going to totally hold out on that, but that's what I'm saying. You must stack the box against Derrick Henry. You absolutely must, because he's not Alvin Kamara. He's not Ezekiel Elliott. He's not Nick Chubb. He's not going to go out and catch the ball. He's really not. His pass catching abilities are subpar. But he's going to punch you in the mouth for 8 yards every play.
And if you are less than about 200 pounds, he is going to put you. I'm not going to say he's going to gently put you. He is going to roughly sit you on your bench. He is going to throw you so fucking hard that you sit properly on your bench.
Do you remember the episode name when he threw Josh Norman? It was Throw a Man to Asgard. He threw a man to another plane of existence, to my entire religious base existence. He threw a good Catholic man to a whole ass another religion.
Thor looked at him and he was like, you know what? I need my hammer.
Derrick Henry has the ability to throw you to another religion. That's the issue. So you must stack the box against him. God forbid you do that.
You didn't do 8.
God forbid you don't stack the box against Derrick Henry. Oh my God. And then if you do stack the box against Derrick Henry, you have Julio Jones and AJ Brown. So I know, hold on. I know that we are making kind of a potentially ridiculous scheme about this. Do you think that this is seriously the deadly trio that quad row that we believe it to be? Do you think Derrick Henry will break? First of all, let me ask this question: do you think Derrick Henry breaks the rushing record with now AJ Brown and Julio Jones at the outside? What,
yes,
2097?
Yes, but if.
Okay, please.
Yes, but if. Or I wouldn't even say but if. I would say yes, but Tannehill needs to play what he was doing last year and the year before.
I feel like that's fair.
You know, we need him to stay. Well, I would say we need him because he's not my
dirty expansion team, yeah.
But he's not my team or whatever. But I'm just speaking in
NFL terms, yeah.
We need him to play better than Ryan Fitzpatrick ball.
Okay, I mean that's not super hard.
If he plays just literally like a notch over Ryan Fitzpatrick ball, this team is like obviously we can see that even when he started his career, he doesn't turn the ball over a lot.
Okay, so does Ryan Tannehill have a career year? So I think again his most recent stats, 2020 season were like 3,800 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
It was 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. I don't know what it was rushing.
It was like
if he rushed.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
He
rushing.
rushed
I don't
maybe
care
for
about
like 5 or 6 or whatever.
Yeah, I don't care about rushing touchdowns.
Even though it doesn't take an effect being a mobile quarterback.
Yeah.
He's not fucking Patty Mahomes. He's not Michael Vick.
Sure.
But he's mobile enough to move the pocket, and he can make plays. And Julio Jones and A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry.
You already kind of like spoiled it. You said what you said.
I said what I said.
Super Bowl bound.
I'm sorry.
The Tennessee Titans are Super Bowl bound.
They're going to Super Bowl. And I'm not saying, like, fuck the Chiefs. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the Chiefs have they already solidified a long-term, if they can do it properly, dynasty.
Sure.
I won't give them dynasty, but I said if they can prove
it's early, yeah.
If I can prove and they do it right, they have a dynasty.
Okay.
But no one can go to a Super Bowl every fucking year.
That'd be like 3 back-to-back-to-back.
No, that'll be 4 back-to-back-to-back to the Buffalo Bills.
Right.
Who lost all 4. And I'm not saying, that's not obviously that's not the Chiefs. They went to 2 back-to-back. They won 1, they lost 1, whatever.
I'm saying if they go to
I'm just saying,
yeah.
We only seen 4 back-to-back-to-back. We only seen maybe 2 back-to-back to back. So I see the Chiefs, yes, they have a dynasty and their players are young enough where they will always be in the running for a Super Bowl. But just because they won 1 and they went one to another, you can't keep. Yes, you can projecturally put them there. Sure. But realistically, they're not always, and I get it, but they're not always going to win. And I think with this,
you think Julio Jones is really the missing link in Tennessee?
I honestly I won't say I said what I said. I won't say I said what I said. I won't say I said what I said. But I have a belief that the Chiefs this year will not make the AFC Championship.
Ooh. Are you at all concerned with Julio Jones' health history? Or do you think that's simply because the weight has been put on him in Atlanta?
I would put it exactly how you put it.
Okay.
I would not put it on his health. I mean, who has they had? They had Gurley for a few years, and what happened?
Sure.
They had Gurley to help him, and they did great. They went to the Super Bowl. And then Gurley got hurt. What happened? Everything went to Julio. And then what happened? You're tripling Julio. Right. He's getting hurt even more because now he has to fight through fucking triple teams.
So, #SportsMe. Derek brought up on when we were watching SportsMe in between. Derek brought up that that offense is stacked, but defense. Are we concerned at all about the 30th ranked or 29th ranked defense in the NFL?
Have you not watched what they did in the draft?
I have, but rookies do worry me. We both know how I feel about rookies. I will hold the same energy that I believe that college is a completely different game than the NFL.
Okay, so your belief is that, and I don't want to take all the words out your mouth. I want to make sure you correct. I want to correct me if I'm wrong. You said any QB,
right,
rookie should not start.
Correct. Ever.
You never said anybody rookie in another position.
I haven't. I think the game is slower at other positions and can be covered in other positions. I think quarterbacks are the most exposable rookie positions ever, but especially on the defense, there are coverable positions.
Now,
right?
Tennessee spent most of their draft on defense.
Correct.
Because I feel like probably in the draft they knew they were going to get Julio.
Really? You think this was a long time?
I feel like Julio was on the market apparently since March.
Yeah. So you think the Tennessee Titans were playing the true long game,
and so was Atlanta because they needed him past June 1st to not eat up dead cap money.
Yet. Yeah, because the contract.
He's out of the NFC.
The trade.
He's in the AFC. He's in a completely fucking like a division that probably will never see Atlanta in another 5 or 6 years. That they can they'll get that inner right course match or whatever.
So you did say that Atlanta did not want to trade within the NFC, and you did place it on the AFC. I'll give you credit there.
I mean, I was like, go to the Jets.
Right. I don't know. And so you really think you're not wrong. June 1st was the date. The Titans did eat the entire salary cap.
In the deal, Tennessee got a second round, I think 2022, and a sixth round 2024 or 23.
Right.
Don't quote me on it.
The Titans eat the contract.
The Titans eat 7 point. They eat this year's 15 point whatever contract, and Atlanta eats the rest.
7.7.
While they also receive, I think, a sixth and the fourth or something. Right. They get 2 picks. They get 2 picks. Plus, they gotta eat most of the money, some of the money.
Right.
But it helps Atlanta.
Yeah.
It helps Tennessee.
Right. If this is a true win-win.
It was honestly a true win-win. But I think Atlanta would become a force later.
Right.
They will. They got Calvin Ridley, Matt. But what kills me is that they got to figure out Matt Ryan because he's not going to be there for long.
Right. Yeah.
And then after that, they're building
Kyle Pitts. Right.
If they got a building formation, they got to get a running back and they got to find a quarterback.
Running backs are a dime a dozen. Yeah.
But Matt Ryan is good for at least 3 more years. Two more years.
Okay.
They got at least 2 years to find a quarterback, and they can push it to 3.
Really?
I said push it to 3.
So
but 3 is gonna be like where you're number 1 pick and you're 1-15.
So if you had to choose who wins this trade, if you had to put a definitive answer, one team or the other.
Oh, Tennessee, man.
Really?
Tennessee.
That was so quick.
Tennessee. Look at the age of the players you got. Even if Julio Jones plays.
We don't think Julio is on the decline. I'm asking.
Julio Jones is the lesser Calvin Johnson. There's no one else that you can put on the equivalent of Calvin Johnson. Like, obviously,
Megatron, right.
Obviously, Julio Jones is later, obviously, in his career too.
Sure.
It's more of a comparison to them.
Sure.
I'm not saying he's better than Calvin Johnson. I'm saying he is the best thing to Calvin Johnson, right now. DK, we don't know his career is going to be.
Sure.
He can get hurt.
Sure.
He's only been in the league like 2 years. So he get hurt, whatever. Julio Jones has done everything Calvin Johnson has done with the same shitty fucking teams. No wins, no Super Bowl. The only thing is that Julio went to Super Bowl.
So now that we've covered like NFL wise, let's delve into fantasy. Where are you drafting Julio?
No. That's okay.
Ooh.
That's completely different.
Like you're not drafting him.
I'm not saying I'm not drafting him.
Okay.
I'm not saying I'm not drafting him.
That's so I'm just saying
it's completely different because you know why? Fantasy is a whole different game.
I know as the commissioner of the degenerates, you cheat so that you have the number 1.
Oh yeah, I make all the fucking rules. So fuck you guys. That's why I won. And
exactly, Hector. There's no coincidence that Hector had the number 1 draft and then cheated to win his way to the win.
Oh so, yeah, after being last place, I had to win.
Since you set up the long game because you cheated I was
the Astros. Just call it out. Call it out how it is. I was the fucking Houston Astros. I was the Boston Red Sox in 2018. James Boda.
You let yourself lose.
Super Dave.
You let yourself lose 2 years ago so that you could cheat this year. When you cheat in the future to win back-to-back, Where will you choose? Where will you draft Julio Jones?
That's the thing. Like 2 years ago, I had actually made Julio Jones my number 1 draft pick, and he was, what was it? Cornholio. Cornholio.
Yes,
that's what it was, or something like that. I had him, but last year I didn't draft him.
Right.
I felt like he was going to have a fall off, and he did. And I feel like
that's all part of that cheating scheme.
Yeah, I think Christie ended up drafting him this last year, and I think I did out well because I think in fantasy, Julio Jones is going to be, now that he's on the Titans,
right?
I think he's going to shoot up in his value.
Okay.
I think he will be a top 10, top maybe even 5 drafted wide receiver.
Interesting.
I think he will be a top 5 drafted wide receiver, but I think he will be a top 10 in all situations. Like, and everything goes down and the season's
when
over.
The points shake out.
I think he will be at least maybe. I will put him 7 to 12.
So you think top 5 is too early if you're drafting him, but if you can get him at the tail end of a first round 12-man league, you think that's good value?
Yes.
Okay.
AJ Brown has already a connection with Tannehill.
Right.
Tannehill in the start of the season is gonna fucking bing AJ Brown.
So
and then once he blows up and they shift the defense to AJ Brown, Julio Jones will start to explode more, which only sets it up even more because obviously which is why I didn't bring up Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is gonna do his thing.
So should you crazy, right? Like you're playing Madden on rookie. Should you quadruple stack AJ, Julio, Ryan, and Derek?
Yeah,
all on your fantasy team. Go nuts.
If I'm playing you Madden right now and you got that squad, I'm playing you Madden right now, straight up. And you got Julio, AJ Brown, you got Derrick Henry, Tannehill, you got the a top 5 line.
Right.
You got
what are you doing?
A sub-mediocre, I wouldn't even say mediocre.
Give me a mediocre defense.
You got a good defense who's obviously...
Will give me a 17 ranked defense.
I believe that Tennessee's defense is a top 15 defense.
Really? After the draft?
I say 15, like you said, 15 to 17.
Okay.
15 to 17.
You are standing on there.
I said what I said. This team, especially AFC, you know how the AFC likes to roll? Offense. Scores points. They got a mid defense that can make you sure that you score less than their offense.
I'm going to press this. The Titans make the Super Bowl. Who do they play? Who wins?
I'm saying the Titans make this. They win the division.
Say it.
They go to the Super Bowl and they play the Bucks.
And who wins?
Oof.
Say what you say, damn it.
Oof.
Make your
don't
choice.
Do this to me.
Make your choice. Stand on it, damn it.
I
wait way super too early. You said the Titans versus the Bucks. We saw the Bucks win in defense.
I gotta go with the Bucks. I hate. I will reiterate this to the day my tombstone will say, I hate Tom Brady. I gotta go. If it's Bucks, Titans, I'm going to have to say Bucks.
If Hector's tombstone says I hate Tom Brady, my tombstone will say read Hector's tombstone. Ladies and gentlemen.
And he'll be right next to me like an arrow that says read this.
With that guy.
Read this.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, SportsMe, TikTok, the whole 9. So I'm starting to formulate a plan. TikTok will become a live sports tweeting thing.
Oh, they're doing live?
No. So I'm not going to live video. But remember, this all started because I was drunk Facebook statusing.
That's how most of things
So
happen.
now Twitter will become while games occur. I will be drunk tweeting. So check out that. Instagram is for like kind of serious pictures. Facebook is for other kind of serious pictures. TikTok's for bullshit. You have to check out Sportsme.
And we got sports talk, real talk.
Oh,
after this.
Yeah, we didn't bring it up. So check out the last final 5 minutes as a super added bonus after the credits roll.
What's up, guys? And this is Hector and Zach from Breaking Down the Tape with Real Talk.
As your extra bonus here.
Yes, and we've only done the episode once before, and we're trying to make sure that the extra episodes we do, we stay upon them and we, bring shit up. This one was a good one. Not too long ago. Look up the receipts.
When we first brought up Real Talk, this is what you decided to start off
This is what I decided to bring up, and I thought it was a good thing to bring it back up for Real Talk. If you guys haven't noticed, mid-May, former tight end Greg Olsen from the Carolina Panthers, him and his wife and his whole entire family has been dealing with a lot of I will call it how it is. Just straight bullshit.
Yeah, man.
Like straight bullshit. They have a son who needed multiple heart surgeries, heart transplants, and all types of fucking... I'm not going to get to it.
Like Greg built his own hospital for it.
Yeah, listen to the old episode if you want all the details. But the man, him and his family funded a bunch of money to build a hospital just on... heart transplants and the type of shit that, his son is going through. And I praise the man. His son recently, 8 days after they, went through the process of putting him on the list of heart transplants, got a donor. So one, right off the bat, I am glad your son is alive.
God, thank you.
I'm glad that you did, regardless. I mean, some people don't have the money for it, but some people do. And you obviously have the money for it, but you also put a ton of money into a hospital in North Carolina where they specifically just deal with this.
Yeah. You said it. Yeah.
So I am glad you got a donor. Your son's alive, and I hope and pray that this is the last of I think like 12 surgeries this kid has been through, and he's only 9 years old.
I will speak for Hector and I won't get into it. As fathers, both of us, we are happier than pigs and shit to see Greg Olsen's story and family play out differently than ours. Hug your loved ones. Hug them because you don't know what tomorrow brings. And sometimes life is a bullshit crapshoot. And we couldn't be happier for Greg and his family. And I don't mean that facetiously. We truly, as fathers, cannot be happier for him and his family. And I can't echo Hector's sentiment anymore. That I hope this is the absolute last we hear of the Olsens. I hope we never hear of them ever again. Ever. Because I hope it doesn't matter.